Hi, my name's David Raybin. I'm a professor in the English department. I came to Eastern in 1981, fresh out of graduate school at Columbia University, where I studied comparative medieval literature. I have two main areas of research interest which overlap a lot. The first one is medieval studies, with a focus on Chaucer, what I was educated in graduate school. Along with my wife, Susanna Fine, I'm editor of the Chaucer Review, which is a quarterly academic journal published by Penn State University Press. Began there in 2002, and I'm finishing my 8th year as editor. One of the things I like about being editor is that it's a kind of teaching. This is a journal where we have essays by very established scholars, senior people in the field, but also has a long history of publishing work by new scholars whom we're helping to enter into the profession. In the same regard, my wife and I have a new book coming out at the end of this year called Chaucer: Contemporary Approaches. It has 11 essays by top-ranked scholars from the United States, the United Kingdom, and France, and it looks forward to Chaucer studies over the next decade, examining where the profession is now and where people think it should be going. This is the third book that I've worked on Chaucer. The two earlier ones are called Closure in the Canterbury Tales, The Role of the Parson's Tale, which is an exploration of Chaucer's last tale, the last part of his great Canterbury Tales, and an earlier book called Rebels and Rivals, The Contestive Spirit in the Canterbury Tales, which explores oppositions and contrasts and conflict in the book. I've written a good many articles on Chaucer myself, along with a few on medieval French literature. My particular interest in my own scholarship is in gender, spirituality, and poetics. I've always learned that reading closely is the heart of everything. Now, this work relates to my other main interest, which is working with school teachers. Since 1988, I've directed the EIU Literature Conference, mostly with Audrey Edwards from the School of Education. This conference gets supported each year by grants from the Illinois Humanities Council, with whom I've worked closely. The idea is to bring school teachers here to Eastern, where we study one text by one major author and spend 2 days looking at it, so that teachers aren't just going to conferences where they learn about methods, but conferences with real literary content. In the same way, I've directed 2 weekend workshops for the Humanities Council at Starved Rock State Park, one with school teachers, one with librarians, where again, we spent the weekend looking at Chaucer. Out of this developed another real interest. I've received 2 major grants lately to conduct seminars on the Canterbury Tales for the National Endowment for the Humanities. These are 4-week seminars on Chaucer's Canterbury Tales with 15 to 16 school teachers. The seminars have been located in London, and where we visit medieval sites in the city along with reading Chaucer, and we have trips to Canterbury, stopping at places mentioned by Chaucer in the Canterbury Tales, and at Oxford. Now, this kind of working with school teachers is incredibly important to me because it gets to the heart of what I think research is all about. That I'm doing research because I love it. But what matters more is in teaching teachers, I'm teaching the people who are going to be teaching the next generation of students. To me, the most important part of my job here at Eastern is as a teacher, working with students from their first year through graduate school, whatever level, trying to get students to appreciate literature and be trained so that they can go out into the world with a love of literature. And working with school teachers or working on my journal helps me to pursue that goal. Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to talk about the work I'm doing. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to contact me.